You know, I feel like a lot of people nowadays like to give praise to manhwas, which is understandable, but like to give a lot of shit towards the adult side that it has. I reviewed 3 of these subgenres in my channel, and I always get comments saying, Kiwi, why are you looking for plot in a manhwa, bro? That's dumb. And I just feel it's kind of shallow, because I read a lot of this media, and a lot of them have really good storytelling that I feel people are missing out because they simply discard them for the 18+ tag that it has. And even then, it also doesn't help that even people who defend manhwas like I do feel like all of the iconic, well-written, star-studded manhwas that are worth defending have all slowly run out with their endings and the lack of descendants that can pick up and carry the torch. But I am here to tell you, both of you types of people, that despite all of your doubts, despite 2/3 of my manhwa reviews in this channel being me shitting on them, that contrary to now popular belief, that there are still adult manhwas out there that are worth reading. I think. I mean, I'm writing this intro before I even start reading any of them, so... today I'm gonna be reviewing these manhwas with copious amounts of chapters and tell you guys whether or not they're worth checking out so you don't have to. This is gonna be a long one, so strap in, buckle yourself up, and without further ado, let's just start with our first manhwa with I Will Protect the Lady. This was a manhwa that I have avoided reading before this video because it is created by the author of a manhwa that I really dislike. But after giving it a chance, I have to say, I am pleasantly surprised. My problem with S-Study Group was that it tried to make a believable story of how a dude got a harem of multiple women who obsess over him, yet he literally has nothing going on for him other than the size of his Donkey Kong. Meanwhile, the dude in this manhwa is pretty dope. Like, you can definitely see why he is so loved due to the amount of charms that he has. On top of that, the plot is very engaging. It takes place in a medieval/fantasy world, and it also involves politics and assassinations while also adding in childhood friend romance into the mix. The main girl is barely seen, which is fine. I can definitely see them cooking with her story while we get to know the other heroines first, if you can even call them that, since their objective is to literally kill the main girl. Yeah, I know. It's pretty spicy, huh? Pretty decent series, probably gonna keep on reading it, 7.5 out of 10. Protagonist who gets stronger, a manhwa about a guy who gets stronger by gooning, which is definitely a very niche power system, but it leaves a lot of room to how the powers and missions work. It has a good balance of action and actual action, while also making good development on the relationship between the main couple. But my thing is, I only read it for the mommy. Yes, I feel like we should start this video with me re-establishing the type of person I am. To be fair, it didn't start that way because I didn't even know she was an unlockable character in the first place, but I think the moment that potential's breached, my enjoyment of the series skyrocketed hard. It also left doubts in me because it's a fact that Korean hentais are not as freaky as the Japanese, so when I found out the only mommy available was the main love interest's actual mom, I thought, oh man, they're not gonna add her into the harem, will they? They did. But then I also thought, yeah, as good as that was, they wouldn't take it a step further and actually make a scene on a tag that I love and adore like Oyako Don, right? Holy shit, they did that too. And all of these scenes are peak. Just, chef's kiss. Perfect. Down to the minute detail. This shit is so fire, it's gonna be borderline impossible to top this scene. Which is exactly the problem. Because right after this, the mom is never to be seen in any of the future chapters again. Which greatly disappoints me. And it's not like the rest is bad, it's just those few scenes were so cinema that now it's making the rest of the series look pale. It's like watching season 2 of One Punch Man, which at times don't look too bad, but after watching a movie that is OPM season 1, you can definitely feel the lackings. So overall, not awful, not great, just good, 7 out of 10. Next one, we're gonna be talking about You Watch Stuff Like That? This is a manhwa that I quite enjoyed for the majority of the time. It's pretty loser bait with its premise of, oh look at me, the average Joe getting together with the most popular girl in school, But I really like the chemistry between the two, and the bickerings are very enjoyable to read with just how much fun they have with each other. It really gives off vibes of besties while having moments where they get romantic with each other, and it makes the dates between the two all the more satisfying. That is until you don't really know if they're dating or not. When it comes to the relationship between the two, the manhwa decides to be Lord of the Mysteries level of complex, cause by the first 5 chapters you're like, oh okay, they like each other, they're going on dates, cool, they're a couple. But then it's like the manhwa wanted to add more girls into the mix, so they just make him go, hey, you're not dating her, right? No, I'm not. Brother, what? I literally just saw you going on a date with her. The f are you talking about? So I'm like, okay, he's a cheater. That's a bit disappointing, but whatever. I've read manhwas that use that type of character trait to make a better story, which is a manhwa that we'll talk about later. But then we find out that she denies them dating too. Huh? Wait, now they try to pull off a fake dating relationship. But you guys like each other and went on dates, and the ass hangout was genuine. Okay, so they're a fake couple, which will then turn into a real one by the later parts of the series. But then they act like a real couple who send each other cute texts to each other and holding hands before marriage, by the way, and they even do so when no one is looking, so which one is it? God fucking damn, just become a couple already. This manhwa is trying so hard to make them not official just to give him an excuse to mingle with other women without being a cheater. Like, come on, they're the best part of the series. Just make them a thing already, you coward. See, that wasn't so hard, was it? Finally, now I can enjoy the manhwa without being confused while reading all the wholesome shit. And he's already cheating with another girl. Alright, cool. 8 out of 10. Teacher's effort. It all started when this young lady decided to be a tutor when her friends are like, "Oh wow, you're tutoring? Yeah, I'm tutoring. What's up? Girl, you tell me what's up. Who are you tutoring?" "Oh, I'm just tutoring this one son from this company that we all know and adore. You know the one." OMG, that is like so uncool. What? Why? Girl, don't you like read the news at all? So far, all the sons that come from there are pretty big assholes. What makes you think your student is gonna be any different? I'm telling you, girl, this shit is bad news. Give me some tea. But regardless of her bad warning, she still decides to meet up with the employer, to which he then says, alright, settle down. If you manage to get your student to score 100 points on your subject, you're gonna get 10 billion fucking won. 10 billion fucking won? Which is genius, because there's not a better motivation for humans than earning those dollar greens. So was the bestie right? Did her student end up being the bitchwas that his brothers are known for? No! Except he just chills and never wants to study. Damn, he just like me for real. But because of that money shit, the teacher starts to pull out the best methods they can to get him to study. And obviously, they don't want to lose that opportunity, so they start pulling out methods to try to get him to study. And surely, not everyone is going to win, so there are gonna be some teachers that will get fired. I mean, this guy isn't even drawn well, so like... Yeah man, good luck with that. The girl that we've been seeing starts crying just for the guy to sit with her out of pity. God, that's fucking cringe. And the mommy decides to use her mommy charms to try to get him to study with her. Oh yeah, now that's what I'm talking about. Wait, you have a husband? That's not very cash money. Even if the main character treats you better than said husband, who neglects you, unnecessarily speaks about and for you, and blames you for the fact that y'all haven't had a baby yet? Oh. And that's not really cash money either. And on top of that, this guy also complains that she is too proactive and thinks she is too much for wanting to play Smash Brothers with him at least once a month. Brother, have you seen your wife? Out of all the things, that's what you have a problem with? Oh, my steak is too juicy and my lobster is too buttery. Look man, don't worry about it. I'll be a bro. I'll sacrifice myself for you and take care of this massive and huge burden that you have. No need to thank me. It's all in a hard day's work. Get it? Hard day's work. Anyways, the other girls haven't really sold it for me. The girl was the main POV in the first chapter and gets a lot of the princess treatment from the main character, which leads me to think that she's gonna be the main. This girl has a cool dynamic with the main character that brings a different side to him that other girls don't really bring up, which is kinda cool. There's also this girl who's had one scene and then disappeared, like forever. Okay, I guess. But I still think this manhwa is engaging enough for you to stay invested in the story and relationships, and I don't have too much to complain about it. A decent time bumped up by its art, quality of mommy, an attractive main character that's my type. 8 out of 10. Relationship reversal. If you told me a few years ago that a manhwa with the most basic plot of an average dude who befriends all the popular girls in his college, I would call you a fucking lunatic. But here we are. My friend recommended this to me for laughs, and we were both genuinely surprised by how much we actually liked it. And it's not like it does anything too different than the others. Heck, there are plenty of other manhwas that share these types of developments that I can put on the screen right now. But I would much rather read this way more than the others because we get a main character that we'd want to actually root for. A lot of times with these types of manhwas, you get a bad boy main character, but they always end up doing too much or just straight up act like a dick. But this guy just has the right balance of domineering, well, not too hard that it takes you out of the enjoyment. He can be rough around the edges, but has a soft side. He has his romantic moments with some girls, he draws the line at certain moments, and there's also this one arc where he manages to get revenge, and it is just one of my favorite manhwa arcs ever in terms of satisfaction. And overall, just a really likable main character that is very much needed in these types of manhwas. Oh yeah, and the girls are nice. One of them has a really nice character development, one has a really cool vibe that I f with, and funnily enough, despite this being one of my favorites at this time, the mommy is actually the second worst girl in the manhwa for me. I know, it's pretty shocking. But the rest of the series is just so good that I don't really care too much. So 9 out of 10, happy-go-lucky. Yogurt Delivery Lady. This manhwa starts when a dude finds a yogurt delivery lady to be attractive, but surprise surprise, turns out she's the mother of the 2 siblings that used to profusely bully him when they were young. He was willing to let bygones be bygones until those very same siblings decided to barge into his life again because they think he is trying to smash their mom. Their mom, who they don't even appreciate. But after hearing of this, the mommy is disheartened because she quite likes her main character, and seeing this, the main character is like, I bet, and starts enacting his revenge. But here's a twist. Although he started it off as a mere revenge, a part of him has always liked the kind nature of this beautiful woman, so although he pursued her for revenge, another part of him has always liked her, creating room for romance to bloom. But here's another twist. Turns out the female sibling has always had a crush on her main character, which is why she's bullying him back when they were young, so when she found out he's been mingling with her mom, she decides to finally make a move on him instead of being a big ol' tsundere again. See you guys, she isn't a bitch, just misunderstood. Nah, just kidding, f this bitch. See, this is why I always prefer the moms over the daughters. These faces are never honest with their feelings, which is fine, but they always escalate things for the most unnecessary reasons and always end up creating drama that could have been avoided if there was just simple communication. But hey guys, there's actually another twist, because while she bullied him because she likes him, the brother bullied him because he hates him. Well, why does he hate him, Kiwi, you ask? Well, it's simply because she likes him. Oh, like he is being overprotective. I wish. No, as in he hates him because the girl that he likes him. Wait, Kiwi, but that would mean that the girl that he likes is his sister. Yes. Yes, it would mean that. What a fucking mess. First we have revenge, then drama, then unrequited love, enemies to lovers, and now they're adding into the mix. Lord almighty, what on earth is happening? Why would they add so much of these weird ass tropes into a manhwa when they can just keep it simple? Well, it's cause it works. I know, just let me cook. The series still works really well because the author uses these uncanny tropes and uses it to make a better story. Because like most viewers, I was also starting to get frustrated by the amount of degeneracy that was getting added, but once I found out what the author was trying to do with it, I was actually pleasantly surprised. For example, spoilers ahead, I love the development towards the relationship of the main character and the mommy. That's not the spoiler, I mean, I think that was pretty obvious. Which is why I was really annoyed when the daughter decided to walk in and the main character, instead of ignoring her and just move on with his happy life with the mom, accepts her and starts a secret relationship with her as another form of revenge. And it starts to piss me off even more when he had a monologue saying that he enjoyed hurting this family, including the mommy that he is in a relationship with. That is until the mommy does find out and he realized he was full of shit. And this, although hurtful, is what elevates the manhwa for me. The fact that there were actual consequences for the main character's actions. Too many times, these types of behaviors are easily excused because of literal plot armor, because no way in hell would that work in real life. I'm looking at you. Second of all, it's also a good way to show that revenge really f***s you up in an unworthy way. It starts to eat you up, changes you as a person, and not the type of person that you would want to be. We hear his monologue about loving the revenge until he realized that the revenge ain't worth shit when it costed him his relationship with the woman that he actually loves. And of course, as another spoiler, they get back together again, but that doesn't happen until a while where the main character genuinely changes as a person. And I mean, really change. He starts doing things that he wouldn't usually do. Heck, he starts doing things a manhwa main character wouldn't do. I mean, when was the last time you've seen a main character getting pursued by 2 baddies with cosplays and the main character was like, "Begone thoughts, I am done with the whole life. And he does this when he isn't even with the mommy. He doesn't even know if she will ever come back to him, yet he still goes through a metamorphosis to become the ideal man for the one he loves, regardless of how she feels about him. So you're telling me that a manhwa about a guy getting with a mommy as an act of revenge towards his bullies, who consists of a kiss and an freak, but turns into a romantic drama, has better writing and character development than Rent a Girlfriend? Shit, why can't this get a season 5? I like it, still has a few shaky moments, but overall, it's a good read, 8.5 out of 10. The father-in-law loves them all. Alright, YouTube just won't let me upload this video, and I think it might have to do with the review of this manhwa, so I'm gonna just shorten this part of the video with a really simple description. Main character equals daddy. I like him very much. This plot is pretty sick and much better than the author's previous work. A little too early to judge the series, but I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. I should also probably use this to promote my Patreon, because there you can watch the uncensored version with the $3 tier, but I'll make it so you can watch the original version of this in the $1 tier, where I talk more and with more manhwas that I just can't fit into the final version for YouTube. We good? Okay. Back to the video. Cleaning Service is one of my favorite manhwas to read right now, simply by how much I love how much the main character loves the mommy of the series. If you've noticed, a lot of these types of manhwas have great quality moms, but at the end of the day, they still get sidelined while the main heroines get the shine. But in here, the main heroine is the mommy, and I love it. The main character can be a bit of a Dumbo, but when it comes to the mommy, he becomes so loving and it rocks me to my core. Seeing this man being so in love with this embodiment of beauty brings such sweetness to my soul, because she is pretty much the ideal older women type character. The kind and gentle nature, the love she has for her daughter, the ara-ara vibes, the shyness and cute insecurities, the thick, personalities, and there's no other way to appreciate her than to give her the love that she deserves. And it also helps that the love story between these two can be really wholesome. But that's not all. The romance that goes on between the two is one of the more well developed out of any of the main couples of the manhwas in this video. The way it starts out and how it progresses is well crafted, the cute chemistry between the two. There's also a sprinkle of tragedy mixed in with how sad of a backstory she has, which elevates it because it makes you root for her more, which is very important. A lot of times rom-coms with multiple love interests f it up by making the main female main character not as likable as the side characters, because all that does is piss you off when the inevitable happens and the side characters get rejected for the actual girl/boy that is set up to win in the beginning. However, this manhwa does a fantastic job to make sure that you want this woman to win, because no matter how you look at it, despite your personal preference, it is clear to see that this is the woman that is perfect for the main character, and leaves no doubt that she is the deserved winner out of the other girls in the series. But don't get it twisted, because as much as I glaze her, that isn't to say that the side characters are overshadowed by the main, because they're also really well handled. For example, I like the rival character. She was a bit too lax for my taste, since I'm getting a bit tired of the second female main character being an aloof, chill woman who doesn't care about getting cut. But the more you get to know her, the more you realize how complex she is as a character. I mean, we see internal turmoil within her, having the facade of being the confident, almost cocky personality, yet deep down has an inferiority complex, and they are absolutely cooking with how she is changing within the season finale. Completely out of my expectations, she's starting to have animosity towards our main girl despite them being childhood best friends. And it so happens to turn out that there's been hints that there have been underlying beef between the two, and it's looking like it's well seasoned. And as much as I don't want to see this mommy getting hurt, the prospect of the drama getting anteed up is getting me excited. Speaking of drama, I also like the soap opera aspect that the daughter has feelings towards the main character too. And I know I just talked about how much I dislike the daughter characters over the mothers not too long ago, but not gonna lie, this girl is such a sweetheart that I honestly can't find any reason to hate her. I'm not rooting for her, but I just hope that she moves on and finds a love that is deserving of her. Like, can you imagine she actually ends up with the guy and she finds out that he's been not only banging her mom, but her mom's best friend as well? Wait, you banged her friend too? Oh yeah, this character sucks, by the way. This is the one character from the entire series that I heavily dislike. I feel myself roll my eyes whenever I check a new update and I see her Chaz being in the thumbnail. But what's also annoying is that she makes the story better too. Frustratingly enough, I see the potential of how they're gonna develop this character, because although she's very shallow, they're dropping hints of more of her personality. On top of that, just adding her into the mix makes the drama between the other 4 girls extra spicier, so although I don't like her, I can't deny the addition of her makes this series into a much better manhwa. Holy shit, did I just do an entire manhwa review without making a single joke? Wow, I think that is the first time that has ever happened in these types of videos, but the more I think about it, the more I realize how much I actually love this series. I'm not even gonna lie, I was originally gonna give this a 9 out of 10, but after talking about it and rereading a lot of the chapters, I've realized how much love is being put in it and how there are almost no flaws in it. Plus, it also adheres to my personal taste without sacrificing anything from the series that would make it good. It's just so masterfully made. I also really like the art style, the humor is there, it's always a good time. Actually, I don't think I've ever not have a good time with this manhwa. So f it. With that being said, I'm gonna give this manhwa an ultra rare Kiwi Channel's second ever 10 out of 10. Huh, I really didn't expect to find a great manhwa like that in my ranks. Might actually make it to my top 5. That was nice. Alright, what's next? Oh. Taming a Female Bully is a manhwa that simply doesn't need to exist. Remember when Rito of Healer first came out and everybody had an outrage over how nonsensically it was? Now imagine that shittiness, but bumped to ×3. Because while there's a revenge story of a guy taking care of business on a female antagonist like Ridu, we don't get to see what was so bad about the bullying that the main character went through. We know he nearly rage quitted life, but we don't really see the actual antagonist doing the bullying. Like, say what you want about the anime, but at least they spent 2 episodes trying to show you how much of a terrible person this woman is, so that when the revenge gets fulfilled, it's that much more satisfying. Meanwhile, I feel nothing towards his revenge, because I get nothing. How do you expect me to care when I don't know shit about the character? On top of that, it goes for so long. I mean, we are in chapter 16 and this girl is still getting the torture treatment while contemplating her life. Like, it gets to the point where it's just depressing because the fucking vengeance takes so long. Rito of Healer did it in 10 minutes. It was quick, concise, gets to the point. Whatever you say, it at least doesn't waste your time. But this girl is getting the treatment Griffith deserves, but we don't know about her, so it sucks. Oh well, Kiwi, she's a bitch. Okay? So what? F***ing tell me on why I should read 40 plus chapters of this girl getting treated like shit so I can feel some sort of satisfaction in some sort of way. Did she kill his grandma or something? Can't you add that? I feel like that'd be a justifiable crash out. Did she ruin his mom's lunch boxes? Steal all of his money? Make him step on Legos? I don't know, man, anything! What am I supposed to feel? It's a shame because I really f*** with the art style and the design of the characters are very up to my speed, but this manhwa is just straight shit. Kinda unredeemable. 3 out of 10. Regressed Warrior. I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about this manhwa because I can't. But this is a 9.5 out of 10. Believe me, I offer you my V card. Created by the same artist that created That's Not How You Do It, my favorite manhwa in existence, and even made it into my top 5 manhwas of all time, period. This one has some really high expectations. From what we've seen, this author is really good at making character relationships and writing and unexpectedly amazing development and backstories, while also not forgetting what makes a pranhwa and add elements that still make the quote-unquote action scenes exciting. So, does it live up to the hype? Is it as good as its predecessor? Will I love any of the characters anywhere near as much as I love all the cast in the previous work?
What, like in heaven? Because... no?
No, but for real, I don't really vibe with it regardless of my unrealistic expectations. I get them trying something new by making the main character a scumbag as opposed to the previous main character being an absolute chad, but it's just not as engaging. The girls aren't that charming, the dynamics aren't there despite some of them being a direct copy from the previous work, so it just feels like a cheap replica from the original. It's also not funny despite its efforts, because it's like they forgot that the reason why the humor in the previous manhwa worked is because they were already close enough after a while of getting to know each other, while y'all are still in chapter 12. Overall though, it's not bad. I'm still giving it time to let it cook, but for now, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. See me after class. A Servant Story, a manhwa that showcases a story of a servant. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I just had to, okay? This showcases the story of a servant who is built like the weakest Baki character, who sees the sad situation of the madam that he is serving getting terrible treatment from her cheating, abusive, toxic-ass husband. So after a series of events, they start falling in love with each other, showing a servant story... Showing a servant story of falling in love with the madam he is serving, while that madam tries her best to not pursue this forbidden relationship despite all of her feelings telling her to do so. Me likey this mommy and me likey all the tropes that is being shown here. Older woman age gap, thank you very much. poor plus rich love story, don't mind if I do. Muscular and strong main character, add that in too please. Main character with romance and generally loves the female main character off the get-go, yummy yummy. Taboo, we shouldn't do this type of relationship but she ends up falling in love anyway? Oh man, this is a dream. A side plot involving his adopted mother getting taken in by loan sharks so she has to pay off the debts by working in a brothel to by men, so the main character has no choice but to save her by being the only man to services so she doesn't get by others? I don't remember putting this in my order. 8 out of 10. Isekai Dragon PP is so funny. The basic plot is the man gets summoned to an isekai because they believe he has the powers of a dragon who has always protected their country for generations. But surprise surprise, when they look for the source of his power, they were like, eh? Nani? Dragon-kun? Doko desu ka? Oh, that's the dragon. And yes, I mean his dragon. I can't believe it. Somebody took that one old Game of Thrones meme back in 2012 and decided to make an entire manhwa around it. It's so ridiculous but so good at the same time. Like, this manhwa is set in a fantasy world full of politics, assassins, knights, half-humans, totalitarian governments, underground slavery, better world building than Jujutsu Kaisen, and no, I am not kidding, this manhwa genuinely has better world building than one of the biggest shonen animes of all time. But whenever all hope is lost, a country is in peril, it's losing power, they are on the verge of war as the other nations start mocking our century-old kingdom and its queen. We have no choice. We must use our trump card. And then they just pulled up this random-ass dude from the street and made him strip in front of a crowd to show off his dragon. And yes, I mean his dragon. This shit happens like 4 times throughout the entire show and I swear I will never get tired of it. Every time it looks like it's about to happen, I doubt it, but then they answer my prayers and made him whip out his weapon again. Grr, you are no match for us. We are trained knights while you only have your dragon powers coming from your dragon. And yes, he means his dragon, but it never fails to make me laugh when the enemies start sweating and slowly realize their terror as they found out that they are no match for him, and all it took was for him to pull the ultimate move.
He's pulling his cock out!
I like this manhwa. I like the girls too, my favorite being the fox girl. She's really fun. I think she's the only character other than the main character who sees the absurdity of the situation but decides to just roll with it. I'm not a big fan of the art style change because in the new season he looks more like a Shota, but either way, the comedy more than makes up for it. 7.5 out of 10. Next up, we're gonna be talking about Intro to Mommies. I mean, the way I feel about this is exactly the way you think I would feel about it. If you like Mommies even half as much as I do, you are guaranteed to love this series. It takes a tag and said, bet, and gives you all the different sides that each type of mommy brings. We have the first girl with the kind and nurturing mommy who has a gentle heart that swoons the main character. You have the haughty, sugar mommy who is competent and can support you both emotionally and physically. Then there's also the mature mommy, and we're not even counting the side characters who bring their own stuff into the table. And I think what's so smart about this manhwa is starting with a main character that doesn't like older women. He starts out as someone who wants a cute kawaii girlfriend, but along the way, he starts seeing the pros of older women and starts to realize his new type that the wrinklier the raisin, the sweeter the juice. He realizes that women age like fine wine to the point that when the ideal cute kawaii girlfriend comes to his way, he starts to notice, wait a minute, this girl is shit, and I fucking love it. Now don't get me wrong, this girl has her own spotlight and they don't really treat her like a clown most of the time, but what I like is that this manhwa shows the best side of both worlds, but it just lets you decide which one you prefer, and most of the times, the right answer is pretty obvious. You can have this youngster all you want, but you're gonna be missing out with the mommies you're gonna have to leave, which you definitely wouldn't want to leave. Especially this one. Side rant time, this woman, Mikyung, is the MVP. I know there are those of you who follow my second channel and saw me ranking her lower than another girl, but off of recent events and after rereading the entire thing to make this video, and also because I got addicted to it, it's pretty clear to say that this woman is far and beyond the GOAT. The development she's had as a character from the aloof mommy to someone who can lose her composure when it comes to romance is a very cute character trait that I've been enjoying as it's become more apparent as more chapters go. I also love how we gradually see more sides of her, like her being a girl boss, not to mention how she's a rich-ass CEO and has been pretty much behind everything that's been happening in this manhwa. She is so cool, she literally funds the main character to crack the baddies. You telling me you're rich, beautiful, mature, immature, cute, and you're a mommy? Yeah, okay, I'ma have to put you up there in the goated list. I don't wanna hear it. There's literally no other outcome than this. And overall, I just love everything about this series. Setting aside my mommy supremacist stand, the art in this manhwa is just immaculate. Whether you're talking about style or technique, everything is top tier. The comedy personally hits for me, which really reinforces the feel-good vibes that this manhwa is trying to give. And of course, like I mentioned in my mini glazing segment, the characters are really done well and make you like them whether you root for them or not. It's near flawless for its genre, and I can really only say good things about it. But if there's one thing I am not a fan of, is how this series is trying to include every heroine into the mix. I think the best way to handle a manhwa with too many women is to just simply discard some of them by the end. Like Desire Realization app has like 7 heroines, but by the end, he only had real emotional connection to 3 of them, so that's who he chose. This manhwa is trying to include everybody in a harem, when they really don't need to be. Oh, I want to keep the professor. Why? She's literally a goofball who used you for her and her husband's diddy-ass freak play. Oh, I don't want to lose the TA. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't she the person who gave you trauma, tried to honey trap you into becoming a dad, and even got you to fight a stalker that could have ended your life? Ah, but Pinky Girl is so cute. Brother, you literally told her that you like him older to her face. And you're not even lying, you've completely ascended to MILF supremacy to the point where by the mere fact of an individual being a mother, you get into Sonic mode. Also, do you know what type of manhwa you're in? It's self-explanatory by the title. Seriously, what's the deal? They're side characters and that's fine. I like the professor, she's bad, but you only really have a real relationship with the trio. You've went through struggles together, shenanigans together, romance together, cute wholesome shit together. We as readers would obviously be more invested with them as opposed to the women who don't even have a lot of screen time. This shit ain't rocket science, it's basic. Will there be a place for us? Bitch, I better hope not. I'm just ranting. I don't know if that's the route they'll stick to, but I really hope they just stick to the main cast for the endgame, cause I don't really f with the others like that. Either way, I mean, this shit is still really good. 9.5 out of 10. Next up, we're gonna be talking about a manhwa called My Daughter. So, I got a backstory for this series. I was strolling around r/pranhwa and caught wind into a post that talks about new gen mommies. And as I checked it out, and knowing that I pretty much already recognized the entire list, there was one that particularly caught my attention. Because this is a mommy I haven't seen in an art style that I have seen in one of my favorite underrated series. I immediately knew this was the same artist who made Tofu Shop Beauties, which is a mommy love story that I thoroughly enjoyed. And you're telling me that that artist is making another mommy? So I went down to the comments to look for the name of the sauce, and surprisingly, it's called My Daughter. Huh, that's weird. I guess the title is in the POV of the mom, like how she cares for her daughter and shit. Oh, so she's not the main girl of the story. Oh, okay, well, I could still enjoy it. I mean, Childhood Friend has the mommy as a side character, and I still liked it. Wait, the mommy is just a flashback character? And the focus of the manhwa is about a dude who adopted her daughter and is now having a crush on a college student who for some reason calls him dad? Listen, I just felt very bamboozled, okay? Was I being dramatic? Yeah. Was it unnecessary? Kinda. Was any of it my fault? No. I mean, like I said, this artist made me a great mommy series before, and this mommy has a great f***ing design. So after reading it for 5 chapters and there still isn't a single side of her, I dropped it. But for the sake of the video, I decided to give it a chance. One of the reasons I didn't was due to pure disappointment for not seeing the mommy from looking at all the thumbnails for the 30 chapters available. But still, it's time for me to see what all the hype is about, and after reading the entire thing from start to finish, I gotta say, it does deserve some credit for reminding me why I dislike younger women. See, this whole setting of the main heroine calling him dad is already a turnoff for me, especially since it seems a bit forced since there's really no real reason why she would call him that. But on top of that, the side heroine is the daddy con's friend, who is the single most annoying female lead I have ever read. She is the very embodiment of the young teenager trope. The very existence of her is an insult to what I stand for. She's bratty, immature, does something immorally wrong, yet the story excuses it because look guys, she's so kawaii. Like no, she's blackmailing him, that's ass! Every time she appears on screen, I prepare myself for the eye rolls that I'm going to do. Every time she appears on screen, I feel fatigued and needed to take a break by reading Intro to Mommies again. Every time she appears on screen, I feel the urge to re-listen to My Chemical Romance hit single Teenagers again. Teenagers scared the living shit out of me. And I don't want to make it seem like I only have bad things to say about this series because it's really not that bad. The art style is nice and I do like the wholesome stuff that happens every once in a while, but that wholesome shit never happens because of the female characters but because of our boy, scratch that, our man. This guy is a fucking catch. He is handsome and daddy as shit. Heck, when he gets surrounded by girls glazing him, I see myself in one of them. But really, that's all I like about the manhwa, and the only girl that I kinda like is the only real society working adult, his co-worker, who doesn't appear much. The main lead, she's weird, but like, not bad, but not that good either. I just kinda tolerate her, to be completely honest. But this bitch, oh man, I need her to be done and dusted, y'all, cause I just can't. 6 out of 10, and that's me being nice. Now go and get ready because we're gonna be talking about Rented Room Brides, and I have a lot to say about it. It is a manhwa series created by someone who also created what used to be one of my favorite series ever, I F***ed the World Tree. I say used to, because the ending sucks. But I didn't blame the artist too much because it looked like one of those situations where she had no choice but to end it early due to the incompetence of Tumix and their excessively high demands. So regardless, I had pretty high standards for their work. Maybe if she were to be given more leeway, she could prove to make a much better series. Maybe if she decides to make a new one, I could enjoy it. Maybe not as much as the World Tree, I've learned my lesson from that one, but I wanted to see some sort of similarity in their writing style that I can feel some sort of nostalgia for, while also appreciating the writing of the story. And man, was I disappointed. Let's start with the good stuff. The art is great as always. I just love the art stuff from this artist. They also made this reference of the World Tree, which I thought was pretty cute, albeit over welcome to stay a little bit. Like, I get it, but you don't have to shove it in my face for half a chapter. And I also really like the main girl. I think she's one of the cutest heroines I've seen in a while, and I don't say that lightly. It's not often I see a Nuna character being a fail girl while still trying to maintain the facade of someone reliable. I think that's a pretty unique trope that not a lot of medias use, and this manga really sold me to want to see this trope more often. The romance between her and the main character is also the cutest. I'm a sucker for childhood friend stories, and I'm also a sucker for two people who clearly like each other. It's such a good setup for a romance, and the way I see it, it would be really hard for it to fail. So why didn't it work? Well, let's start with the fact that there are 6 girls into the mix. That's a lot of women, and I was open to it. I've definitely seen manhwas with that amount of girls in a harem. Heck, some of my favorites have 4 to 5 as their average amount of heroines. But the difference is, those manhwas have a lot of chapters, while this one only have 2 dozens. And you might say, well Kiwi, the manhwa isn't finished yet. Maybe you should slow down and let it cook first. Yeah, I probably should. But I am almost 90% sure that this manhwa is about to end pretty soon. If the World Tree's ending felt rushed, in this manhwa, everything felt rushed. You do not get a room to breathe, and you will not feel any of the characters in an emotional level simply because it moves too damn fast. By the 20th chapter, the series has already speedrun to the main character clapping 5 out of 6 of the cast. No, I am not kidding. And you know, maybe that can work. I think a fast-paced story could cook, who knows? But the writing is also terrible as In the first chapter, we see him trip and get an accidental lucky, and I was like, oh haha, that's so silly how they add this overused cliche and making fun of weeb culture, that's kinda nice. But then they do it 3 more times. Why? They overused the overused cliche. What kind of clown shoes is this man and author wearing? They also do this thing where every time there's an action scene happening, they immediately set up for the next arc for the next girl by having the next girl accidentally walk in and watch the main character doing a cutscene with another girl. This is the laziest I have ever seen. Seriously, every single woman always walks in and overhears all of your entanglements, and he's always like, oh my god, how did they find out? Hey man, I got a solution for you, so why don't you just, close the fucking door! This is so fucking ridiculous. If you get caught in the dorm house where everybody lives, that's one thing. But how do you also get caught when you're in campus, in university, my guy? That shit is fast! And finally, my biggest complaint has to be for this character right here. A man-hater. The type of character that I hate with a passion. The type of character for them to make the excuse of, oh hey guys, look at how sexist she is. Isn't she cute? Go f*** yourself. But early on to the manhwa, I was pretty hopeful to how this was gonna go. In the previous manhwa, my favorite character arc came for the heroine who started out as a hater to main character, and it was one of the most beautifully written shit I have ever seen in a manhwa medium. But this one is just unforgivable. So she hates this guy because of the accident unlucky that happened in the first chapter, even though he's already apologized and it was clearly unintentional. She didn't believe him and carried that grudge for 19 chapters. Grr, men, grr, they shut. But then she walks into another situation where the main character uncharacteristically defends one of the girls from an emotional moment, and she's like, oh wow, maybe it's not that bad. and then she invites him to talk, but he trips and falls right into another accidental lucky, but this time it is with her. Brother, are you wearing banana peels as your feet wear? And she was like, grr, I knew it, men shuck, grr. Sister, come on, you got the first person view. It was clearly a trip. You didn't even need to watch VAR to verify what happened. You had the perfect angle. You didn't even look away. You saw it happen. So after she gets angry and kicks him out, not long after, she gets threatened by a man with a knife. What is even happening anymore? And as he is about to stab her, hurrah! The knight in shining armor comes to the rescue. Fear not, citizen. Hope has arrived because I am here. Sorry guys, I just really wanted to say that. I've been obsessed with my hero lately, so. Hey, thanks for what happened. Oh, yeah, sure. I still feel scared from what happened earlier, so can we cover up the bad memory with something else? Something else? Yeah, I just really want to. I just really want to feel somebody's body heat. This is an insult. This is actually such an insult to storytelling as a whole. You're telling me that this character who hates men continues to hate men even with the smallest of errors, gets attacked by a man, and her way of coping is by making love with a man? Oh my god, where do you live? I need to know. And my god, just everything about this series seems like it's pandering so much to the male audience. I get it, that's the majority of the audience anyway, that I understand. But wow, this is just the most incel fantasy I have seen. Every single one of the girls never failed to verify that it is their first time. It's my first time. Oh, I've never done this before. I haven't had anything like this. Okay, sure, but even the mommy character, the woman in her 30s, despite looking like that? Oh, but Kiwi, they clearly explain how she's a workaholic, so she never had time. I know, but my point is, it just feels a bit ridiculous that everybody still has their V card because it feels like it's pandering. I can go on and on about my complaints because my disappointment is immeasurable and my day was ruined, but I think you guys get the general idea. I don't need to spend too much time on something you guys probably haven't even read, so I'm gonna just tell y'all to stay away and give this one a 4 out of 10. And finally, to end the longest video I have ever made on this channel, the grand finale, the last manhwa we will be talking about today, I became an apartment security manager. It's ass. Don't read it. 2 out of 10. So that's it. This marks the end of probably the longest video I've made that also took the longest time to make. And all that just for this video to not make a single penny because I know YouTube will haul on my ass. But hey, if you want more videos like this, it would really motivate me if you go and support me on Patreon. That way you can also watch this video without any of the blurs, so you can enjoy the content in all of its full glory. Now, I've already mentioned this in my father-in-law review, but just in case you guys skipped that part of the video, I'm gonna mention again that the original version of this video is longer and for monetary reasons, I can't post it onto public YouTube. So while the $3 tier lets you watch the uncensored, the $1 tier lets you watch the original version where I talk about more manhwas that I just can't talk about here. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed this November special, and yeah. God, I hope this channel doesn't get deleted.